What's going on? This is your man Jose, the Dominican Dream from the Boxing Roundtable, and I am ready to talk boxing, riding solo today, my man. Boogie Down Sean, we tried to do a show, but we had some technical difficulties. A show right after the beatdown of Demetrius-Andrade by David Benavidez. Shout out to Demetrius-Andrade, and shout out to David the Monster Benavidez. Wow. I know you guys have seen videos on this, post-fight videos. I know, there's a 800-pound gorilla in the room, and that's Benavidez versus Canelo Alvarez. Time and time again, day in and day out, that's all we hear in boxing circles. Canelo's a guy that usually tweets out things after a big fight or during a big fight. He didn't tweet shit during or after this one, probably because he doesn't want to put himself in any kind of predicament, and he doesn't want to acknowledge the performance by David Benavidez. He doesn't want to acknowledge that David Benavidez has been next in line for at least 2 years. Y'all saw the fight. Y'all saw what happened. David Benavidez showed us that against another top 168-pounder and, a great talent in boxing, in my opinion, the guy that can still beat and would have still beat many 168-pounders, if not most, not named David Benavidez. We saw what he did to Demetrius-Andrade. He used the tools that he has. He looked more refined than he has before. He showed some head movement. He was in tremendous shape. He didn't look drained like he did against Caleb Plant. I picked Benavidez to win by decision or late stoppage, but it was much easier for him than that. And it happened in a way that no boxing expert expected it to happen. No expert expected him to just walk through Demetrius-Andrade, who was in the fight. He was in the fight, but not for long. He boxed well for about 2-3 rounds, 2.5 rounds, but that pressure and that strength and the caliber of Benavidez really got to the 35-year-old talented fighter who really never got to fight any other top fighters, and iron sharpens iron. If you don't fight top fighters, no matter how talented you are, your talent won't really you won't live that up. It won't live up to you won't fulfill your potential as a fighter, as an athlete. You have to test yourself against the best, and this was if Demetrius didn't do that, it was not through fault of his own. The guy wanted everybody. He did everything right. He did negotiate years ago with one of the Charlos that fell through, and I believe he was having some contractual issues at the time where he was deciding where he was going to go, and he opted to go with Eddie Hearn in the zone. And we know that the Charlos are both with PBC. Now, as far as Canelo Alvarez, I'm not even going to beat that drum. Canelo knows what should be next. The world knows what should be next. The biggest fight in boxing now, currently, today, is Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez at 168 pounds for the undisputed 168-pound championship. All belts on the line. Canelo got all the belts. If you don't want to fight Benavidez, me personally, would I like to see the fight? Yeah. Do I have to see it? No. I believe I know what's going to happen. Canelo going to get his ass whooped. Bottom line. So, Canelo, if you don't want to fight Benavidez, vacate the belts. One of the belts. At least two. Something. If Crawford just got stripped unjustly, I believe Canelo should be stripped as well if he doesn't want to defend his title next. I don't want to hear September. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I want to hear next. If he doesn't defend one of those titles next, he must be stripped, because you can't block someone from being champion. And to me, that's actually more important right now than him fighting Canelo, because I believe I know what's going to happen. I don't predict the future. I'm not saying Canelo has no chance, but this guy is too big, too young, too strong, too good. And Canelo's on his way out. And even if he wasn't on his way out, I don't give a fuck. Canelo would never beat a fighter like this, because Canelo's just not that caliber of fighter. Like I said, you guys have seen what happens when you overrate fighters and overrate them. We saw it with Shakur Stevenson, and we've seen it with many others. Canelo's one of them. Good fighter, not no all-time great. I don't want to hear none of that shit. And I told you guys, if you guys don't remember, watch the video after the post-Stevenson De Los Santos fight. Don't believe the hype. Don't gobble the hype. I believe that if they fight, to break down that fight, again, Benavidez is just bigger, stronger, the willpower. You need volume to beat a guy like Benavidez. Canelo doesn't have volume. You can't fight in spurts. Canelo's a guy that fights in spurts. You know, 3-4 punch, three punch combinations, lays back, 3-punch combinations, lays back. And this guy will make you fight. Boo Boo's a guy that we thought could get away with moving around, jabbing, sticking and moving, tying him up, you know, fighting him here and there in spots. You don't decide when to fight Benavidez. Benavidez decides when you have to fight him. And he's proven that against a much better mover in Demetrius-Andrade than Canelo Alvarez. Canelo does not fight backing up. He can't fight backing up. Canelo has very, very bad footwork. He has virtually no footwork. He's a stationary fighter on his feet. He has good head movement. That won't be enough to defeat David Benavidez. Yes, he's explosive. Canelo, he's fast, but he's just not that caliber of fighter to mess with this guy at this guy's age. He's just in his prime now. I believe that what Canelo will try to do is maybe try to wait Benavidez out of the division and try to make him wait till September, till a time that he figures that Benavidez won't be able to make the weight anymore. You know, and that would be shameful. But what would also be shameful is for Benavidez, the Benavidez team, Samson Lekowitz, they must not accept any kind of rehydration or catch weight rehydration clause. They can't not do it because this fight does not merit that. They're both 168 pounders. They're both 168 pounders. Canelo has been at 168 for at least 3 fights. He is the undisputed champion at 168. He can't ask another 168 pounder to not come in at a certain weight. He can't ask for shit. This is not a 175 pounder that he's going to fight like he did with Kovalev. This is not a guy that's coming up. This guy in his own division. I don't want to hear shit. No weight classes, no rehydration clause. That shit would be unacceptable. And if Benavidez team accepts it, they're stupid, and that's on them. I don't give a fuck how much money he's gonna make. Nah, you don't want to fight me with you know, up and down at both as both 168 pounders. Then give me the fucking belt. Fuck you. I don't need your money. I don't need that money. I'm gonna make money anyway. I'm David Benavidez. I'm winning fights. Everybody likes watching me. I'm knocking niggas out. Well, what's he gonna get, an extra 2-3 million fighting Canelo? Nah. Either fight me straight up and down with the rules that you fought everybody else at 168 recently. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. That shit is unmerited, and that wouldn't be fair. That would simply be unfair. He's not asking the guy to come, you know, Benavidez is not asking Canelo to come up and weight or anything like that. You know, but Benavidez is not coming from another weight class down. He's in his own weight class. So Canelo, stop playing. Stop playing. Either let one of the belts go, or more than one of the belts go, or fight David Benavidez next. I don't want to hear. 3 fights ago, we said, all right, well, let Benavidez fight somebody else. That happened. After that fight, we said, well, let Benavidez fight Plant or Demetrius-Andrade. Let them all fight each other, and, well, he beat Plant. All right, so there was only one guy left at the top of the division who, let's be honest, most people didn't think that was going to happen. We didn't think Benavidez was going to get in the ring with Demetrius-Andrade, but he did, to my surprise, and to the surprise of many. Not only did he get in the ring, but when he did get in the ring, in what I thought was a very close fight matchup going into it, but he went in there and he destroyed Andrade. He also destroyed Caleb Plant. Let's not forget, I don't want to hear, oh, Caleb didn't get knocked out. Shut the fuck up. Caleb didn't get knocked out. He did get knocked out. David was robbed of a knockout at least twice in that fight by none other than infamous, notorious Kenny Bayless, who, in my opinion, should be investigated, in the opinion of Teddy Atlas and others in boxing, Oscar De La Hoya, etc., because that officiating by him in that Caleb Plant fight was horrible. Benavidez beat him up, beat him down, and in at least 2 or 3 moments when Caleb Plant was getting knocked the fuck out, was getting beat the fuck down, was getting ready to get stopped, Kenny Bayless would call a stop to the action, a halt to the action, and give Caleb 20, 30, 40, even damn near 60 seconds to recover. You know, that's bullshit, that's unfair, and that's the reason why Caleb went 12 rounds with David Benavidez. So if y'all want to put that to the test, you could put Andrade in there with Caleb Plant, and I would bet most likely that Andrade would beat the shit out of Caleb Plant. Now, anyway, moving on. Again, either fight this boy next or vacate one of the belts. Again, we were asking him 3 fights ago. We were giving Canelo a chance, but now he fought who he had to fight, beat up Caleb Plant, beat Demetrius-Andrade. That's it. We don't need David Benavidez to do anything else. He don't got to do anything else. Oh, I don't want to hear, but Canelo, remember, he's a superstar. He could, no. We gave him enough passes already. No more. That's it. No more. He got his options. He maybe has 3 or 4 options. What are his 3 or 4 options? I'm gonna give you the first 2. Fight Benavidez, number 1, or number 2, fight Benavidez. Number 3 is vacate one of the belts, or just leave 168 pounds completely, or retire. That's all you got as far as having respect from the fans. 90% or more of the boxing public will not respect Canelo Alvarez if he doesn't take this fight next. September, I don't want to hear September. There's no need for September. There's no need for September. Canelo don't need no tune-up. He don't need no tune-up. Benavidez don't need no tune-up. He just fought a great fighter. And this is what happens, guys, when you fight good fighters after good fighters, or when you test yourself against the best available. And that's what Benavidez has been doing at his weight division. That's why he's looking so good, so strong, so sharp. You know, I hope that he stays and trains and stays around his weight. And I hope that fight is next. I don't want to see it in September. I think September is a cop-out for Canelo. He'll just be waiting for Benavidez to... He's going to try to, you know, smoke him out. He's going to try to smoke him out and try to basically, you know, have him outgrow the division and then fight him. You know, fight a drained Benavidez perhaps. But if Benavidez stays sharp, and if Canelo doesn't want to fight him in May, and he actually wants to fight him in September, then Benavidez fight Charlo next. Fight another good fighter, 168 pounds next. People are talking about David Morrell. What has David Morrell done? The dude got like 10 fucking fights. Cuban fighter. Good amateur, whatever. That shit doesn't translate always. He's not going to compete well. He's not going to do well against David Benavidez. He doesn't have the experience, and this ain't the amateurs. This is not an amateur style. This is not an Olympic style. This is a professional, destructive, chase you down, pressure you. You will have to fight me kind of style. David Morrell, if he wants that chance, he wants that opportunity. One, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't have the fights. He hasn't gone through the gauntlet to get where he's at. A lot of people are saying, well, I understand Crawford if he doesn't want to fight Boots, which I agree. Crawford did what he had to do. He's a veteran. He's fought all the top fighters in the game. beat Sean Porter, beat Errol Spence. You know, he doesn't need to fight Boots, right? In the sense of for his legacy, for his record, for his legacy to be established, right? He has his legacy. He fought who he had to fight. You understand? He doesn't need to fight Boots. Would I like to see it? Absolutely, I would love it. But him not fighting Boots is not ducking. You understand? Because Boots he's the new kid on the block. He still hasn't done enough to fight the top fighters. Yes, he hasn't. Even though it might not be through fault of his own, but he hasn't, right? In the case of Benavidez-Canelo, Benavidez has been knocking on that door, not for 1 year, not for 2, not for 3. It's been a long time coming. Enough is enough. You understand? That fight has to happen. If it doesn't, for the fans, right? Me, like I said, me personally, I don't give a fuck. I know who's going to win. It'll be a couple good, interesting rounds. Yeah, just like that. Couple good, interesting rounds by Canelo. You're going to keep Benavidez off for maybe a round or two. After that, it's going to be the same outcome. So if you don't want to fight him, cool. Give him the belts. Or the sanctioning bodies have to strip Canelo the way they did Crawford and give the belt or the belts to Benavidez. And Benavidez has already mentioned fighting Bivol, fighting maybe Better Biev or other fighters up there. I love to see it. I favor Benavidez against anybody at 168 and 175 pounds. I think the Bivol fight is going to be a little test. He's a little bigger. You know, he's a guy that moves. He's going to give him some problems, but Bivol is a guy that won't go 12 rounds either because he's another fighter that doesn't have any volume. He's a fighter that is content doing the bare minimum, and you cannot do the bare minimum against Benavidez and even think about a victory. So shout out to Benavidez. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, you know, y'all saw the fight. Y'all know everything that's going on. Y'all know what's happening. Comment, share, like, subscribe. You already know it's your man, the Dominican Dream from the Boxing Roundtable. Canelo, stop playing.